we are required to implement our mandate, one of increasing housing stock in the country, rehabilitate the housing industry, and encourage Ugandans to live in well-planned and organized environments. Chair, when we are talking about old properties, it's not because we are out of the mandate. The law recognizes that once you build a house, at some point it will grow old. And my chairman has talked about the new trends and growth and designs. So also to come back to those properties, we are not out of the mandate. They look bad, some of them in the city. I will tell you some of them still have asbestos roofs, which we know have issues. And then they knock on our doors. National Housing, one of your mandates is to rehabilitate. So that is one major entry, that when we come the old properties, we have that mandate. What it means is that we can be contracted through a business framework by government, by private enterprises to build for them, especially in the housing sector. Yes, for years, we've not been present in Mbale physically, so we are categorized among the absentee landlords. But national housing was created by the Act of Parliament in 1964. And one of the major municipalities or towns or cities where national housing did a lot of development work was in Mbale City. We pride in the planning that is in Mbale because it is informed by the number of housing estates that we built and the number of properties. And those properties indeed sit in our names. Some of them, when we developed, we left land for future development, and so that's why we are here. That we can look at the land that is available. We are coming back to the city to be part of the city development process to make sure that the housing sector, which normally represents the face of any city or any town, is to standard and to scale.
Yes, you come back at the time when then the municipality is now a city, it's now a city, and most of this property.
The meeting we've had today with the municipality district, rather with the city and the district authorities, is to look at a reconciliation process, because a number of properties may have been traded in, maybe some of them have been developed, but development never stops. If you look at the houses we built in 1960, in the 60s and 70s, in Mbale City, they are now dilapidated with asbestos roofs. Some of these houses are sitting on big acreages of land with small families. So the current trend with the growing population in the country is that we must begin to look at how we build, optimize land use, and the only way we can do it is to come back to those properties where you have big acreages with small families, build vertically, planned environments and accommodate them. Where the development is commensurate with the planning the planning strategy of the city and the district, why not? We'll accredit these properties, those which are fit for purpose, they will stay, but we'll engage with the people who are seated on these properties to make sure that we have a win-win, because what we need is development for today and for the future.
These people, legal companies that you have admitted that been absentee landlords for quite a while.
We are government, and normally government records are always clear. Compensation can come if indeed the processes of ownership came in the right way, but also the committee that has been set up will look at who would qualify in that respect. But there's also the business side of things, that if somebody is sitting on a property and for years he will sit there as one unit, and in 1 acre we know we can build 80 units, we can also get this person acquire a unit in the new development. That is a form of compensation to make sure that he has a newer, better unit within the new development, on a chunk of land which can be more productive than it is being used now.
Which type of housing are you looking at?
Now, our mandate is, I know most Ugandans have known national housing for residential housing. It is true. Most of the estates we did here were for residential purposes, especially when they related with public servants. But now our mandate was grown from just housing, from just residential housing. We also do commercial housing, In other words, we're already engaging with the districts and municipalities on construction of the administrative blocks. If they are private people who have prime plots and they want to develop commercial infrastructure, maybe shopping malls, that we can do. That's still within the ambit of housing. The industrial housing, warehousing, storage, but also, for instance, work residential premises for industrial workers. All these cities are now industrial hubs have been gazetted there. So we are not limited. Even institutional, schools, hospitals, anything that is brick and mortar or any other technology, we are not limited to doing it. And so we'll be engaging where we have quick wins is where we start. And as a matter of priority, Mbale is prime to us because fairly it had a good planning framework, which we think we should not lose. And so this is likely to be our greatest starting point as we go to the other cities, countryside.
Finance, and the others we're talking about the land commission. Somehow we identify.
How many properties do you have in?
So we have about 73 properties in Mbale, and we yesterday evening we visited MZO, we identified them, but we don't want to alarm people. They might think that maybe they want to chase us or this and that, but having been quiet a bit because national housing has not been on the so much outward spoken on development. That's why we now want to wake up and start visiting these areas. But first, I want to start with Mbale. We've got, for instance, a property just opposite Resort Hotel. The original Resort Hotel, the buildings opposite it, those buildings are for national housing. People have occupied them, and we just need to discuss with them and see how best we can agree. Because we feel we could break up those buildings, put up high-rise buildings, and offer them maybe two-bedroom flat each, instead of living in these ones which are more or less expired. And we provide them with some apartments within the building, but also creating. I know the senior quarters doesn't have shopping malls. We could create a good shopping mall there where most of them can go.
Some land for better housing by the National Housing Corporation in the city. But for now, we have agreed that we shall have to carry a kind of audit on the properties of the national housing which are here in Mbale, which are estimated to be about 73 to 75. This will be investigated, the status at which they are, and if there have been changes of ownership and interest, then everything must be put in place. And we have put a committee of about 11 people that will be shared by the city clerk to look through into all these structures and raise issues which are existing there within 2 weeks. And the next meeting we shall again have as a city and National Housing Corporation members will be in August, about the 11th of August this year. I think everything will pick up from there, and we start to think together and plan for this.